Hello everybody and welcome to episode 149. It is January 13th of 2019 and this is the Wonderfully Hopeless podcast. My name is Charity and we're going to talk about all things crafty. So I got a fair bit of crafting done with winter break. For those of you that don't know, I'm a high school science teacher, so winter break is when I get a nice chunk of crafting done along with summer break. So let's just get started. So I showed this last time, but it wasn't finished drying yet. So this is my yarn that I spun myself, and then I dyed it with Kool-Aid. So I'm really happy the way this came out. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with it yet, but it's like 70 yards or something. So maybe I'll make a headband or something. I don't know, but totally cute. And I love it. And I'm addicted to dyeing and spinning now. Just what I needed. There's that. So let's do... That was my spinning, so let's do stitching. So I actually have been getting some decent stitching time in. So one of my goals, and I'm sorry if you can hear my bird, but he's downstairs being obnoxious. So I am doing the Birthday Beauties or Fairy Calendar. This is by Leslie Tier. And I had already done the May, but I hadn't gotten anything else done. So I've been working on this, and I decided with 2019 I was going to stitch each one of the months every month. And for those of you that are curious, this came out of the Ultimate Cross Stitch Fantasy. This is from 2015. Now, I tend to like to get these particular magazines bound, spiral bound. So that's what I did. So, now I showed that I had started on it the last time. And I finished it. So she's finished. I made some modifications to her. So instead of doing the just the regular cross-stitch border, I'm doing a herringbone pattern on the border, and then I'm doing Algerian eyelets in the corners. And I have decided that I'm just going to wait until I have the whole top row done before I go in and add in my Algerian eyelets. Some of the other modifications that I made, I have added a Rainbow Gallery blending filament into her wings to give them some sparkle. And for this fairy, her dress is made out of DMC satin flosses. So, and then that's most of the changes that I made on her. And I decided that I was going to model this after the Willow Tree figurines. And I put the mouth on, but I'm not going to put the rest of the face in. And I really like the way it looks. So, yeah. And this is fabric that I dyed myself for this piece. And it is 28 count. So, I've got that one done, and I'm all ready to start on February's, the first weekend of February. It takes me about a week to stitch one of the fairies. So that's not too bad. With my limited stitching time, I can handle a week. Alright, next up is again out of the Ultimate Cross Stitch Fantasy. There's like a whole bunch of patterns I want to stitch out of here, and these are the ones that I'm working on currently. Alright, so this is Enchanted Evening or Daisy Fairy. I'm never sure of the names of these patterns because there's two different names. And this is designed by Adam Prescott. I adore her. and I had started her, and as a stitch along with Miss Mel, and Mindy started at the top, and I started at the bottom, and where I'm at today. So, as you can see, I've got the rocks done. I've got her legs done, and I've started on the dress. And I'm just kind of working one color at a time up the dress. And I hope to have her skirt done this month. That would be my goal, is to have her skirt done. And then we'll move on from there. So, absolutely love this. And I'm really happy to actually seeing some work on it. Next up for my stitching is snow. So my goal for the year is to finish the page on, or the top row of pages on snow. And I am continuing on with I need to simplify the number of whips. So this is the only HAED I have out right now. And with 27 colors, I figure this is the most likely that I can get finished. So I've been working on snow. And I am on the first page. So I am going cross country with this page. I probably won't do that when I get over to the next page. I'll probably go back to doing the columns. I started with columns, and columns were okay, but I reached a point where I kind of went cross country because this one is only 27 colors. And I honestly found that I liked cross country a little bit better when I wasn't working on it very often, but as I want to focus on this piece, I've decided I'll probably go back to doing columns. It's just a little easier to manage the heaven and earth charts. So, and this is a new Q-Snap. I was using my American Dream frames, and I love my American Dream frames for my smaller projects, like my fairy. But the tension is horrible when you get to the larger projects. So I decided to go with Q-Snap. I have multiple of the generic Q-Snaps you can get from Hobby Lobby, and they're horrible. They don't hold tension, and they break really easily. So I went with a real Q-Snap. I have one other, but I don't know where it is. I'm going to have to find it, because I know I have one other real Q-Snap. But anyway, this is what I've been working on this weekend, and I'll talk more about kind of how I'm structuring things right now in a minute. So anyway, that's my stitching. Oh, I have one more project. Where'd it go? Ah! So the last one is my travel project. It lives in my elephant bag, which is great for traveling. And I am working on my Emerald City by Satsuma Street, and I'm pretty happy with how this has come. I have not gotten a lot of progress the last 2 weeks, just because I've been really busy at work, and so I haven't gotten a lot of stitching done. But it is coming along, and I'm pretty happy with it. I would really like to get this finished before the end of the school year. So that's kind of my goal, is before the end of May to have this finished. So we'll see how that goes. Alright. That is all my stitching. So, knitting. Let's start with probably the oldest whip, and that is my Trillion. So, these are the balm, by the way. I know everybody has the metal ones, but I make my own, and I love them. Alright. So, this is my Trillion, and as you can see, I've gotten a fair bit done in the last 2 weeks. It is getting pretty long, very long. I'm about done with it. I called for like 463 yards or something, and my skein was only 400, so I went into a second skein, and I'm pretty sure at this point I'm ready to bind off. So I have a border to do before I can bind off, so I might be able to get this done in the next couple weeks. But I had kind of decided, since I had started the second skein, I might as well make it a little extra long, but at this point I think it's plenty long enough. I just need to put on the border and then do all that blocking stuff, and I can have a finish. And I really want to finish, so I've been working on this quite a bit. So there's that one. Alright. Next up would be my socks, and these are for my husband, and these are travel. So they are getting there. I'm just about done with the decreases for the heel. So, and like I said, these are my travel projects, and I'm doing on my mini circs, so there's that, and they're living in my Silver Shed Froggy bag. I need another of this size. I have lots of bigger bags, but this is my only smaller size bag of this style, and this is my preferred style, I think. Alright, next up I have 2 new starts with the new year. One of them I started right after Christmas, and one of them was my New Year New Start. So right after Christmas, I started another cake shell or something. I can't remember what it's called. And it's in the middle of a row, so I can only do so much here. So this is it. And I'm really enjoying it once I came to the realization that I needed to modify it. The pattern is not my favorite as far as how it's written. So I have been making quite a few modifications. So the first section is just garter stitch. And then the next section is a lace. And then this bright red across the top was supposed to be a zigzag stitch. And I really did not enjoy the way it was looking. So I changed that out and I'm doing a basket weave pattern, and I'm liking that much better. So yeah, it's a really fun once you decipher the pattern and go from there. So it's challenging in the fact that I'm making changes to the way it's done, but I'm really enjoying it. It's one of my favorite colors of yarn. I absolutely love that colorway. And it is living in my, who made this bag again? Designed by Yvonne Art. I'm going to be sad to have to put this bag away. But it just snowed, so it's probably not going away for a while. Love that bag. Alright, next up, living in my yoga frog bag, is, and it'd be better to show you a picture. Stretch! Alright, so for my New Year New Start, I started Julie's Wrap by Huhi Locatelli. So, yeah. And I started in stitching it, making it out of Baja Manhattan in the Le Mouton Rouge colorway. Absolutely love this colorway. And this is 30% cashmere, 70% nylon. And this is where I'm at so far. And I'm really enjoying this. The main body is just stockinette, and so when I finish Trillion, this will take over as my potato chip mindless while I'm watching TV knitting. It's gotten a little bit done just when I want to break from the colors on Trillion, but really I've been focusing on getting Trillion done. Okay, so that is all my active projects. So what am I planning on doing for the next 2 weeks? Well, there's a couple things. Oh, I could show haul. Let's do haul first. It's easier. So, I really enjoyed dyeing my own yarn. And my spinning, while I enjoy it, it's a little slower because it's spindle. So, I got 2 skeins of Sockies by Lion Brand. And it is 75% wool, 25% nylon. And it's 438 yards. So I'm going to skein this up and I'm going to play with dyeing with this. It's not like the softest yarn ever, but it'll be fine after I wash it. And it'll make for great socks that I can hand dye myself. So I thought that would be fun. Because it'll probably be several months before I get to dyeing or finishing more spinning so that I can dye. So I got that, and then the next thing I got was a Row 1 yarn subscription. I decided to treat myself to this. My yarn stash is growing, and I can't say I don't have a yarn stash anymore, but it's not the biggest one ever. It's not the smallest one ever, but it's not the biggest one ever. And I gravitate to particular dyers, and I really want to branch out a little bit. Like, I'd say, well, we know Leading Men is my hands down favorite dyer, and I have a small stash of their minis because I can afford their minis. But then I really started gravitating towards Hedgehog and just a couple other dyers that I tend to buy when I can find them. And so I want to branch out a little bit. I have my local yarn store, and I've done ZK Market twice now. So if it's not at those, I don't tend to get it. I did discover a few yarn dyers when I went to Stitches Midwest. I'm super excited to go again. This year, it's on my birthday. So excited about that. Anyway, I saw on Grocery Girls, Row 1. And so I decided, after my friend was doing it and was enjoying it, that I'd get it. So I got Lichen and Lace this time. And this is a Canadian dyer, and their colors are so pretty. So this is Sugar Plum. And this is Shrub. This is one of my favorites, Ginger Snap. And then we have Rainy Day. Daylily. Silver Fox. This one is one of my absolute faves. Rosewood. Love this. It's a maroony Marlowe. It's got pink tones to it. It's just gorgeous. And then this is another one I absolutely love. This is Icy Seashells. And this is such a beautiful speckle. Absolutely love this one. And then, don't need the string. Evergreen. And Amethyst. So these are absolutely amazing. I've already gone to Lichen and Lace and have placed an order there that will be coming this week. And I dropped one. I'll pick that up in a little bit. And you also get a stitch marker with it. And it was super cute. So it's a little sweater on knitting needles. So totally cute. So yeah, that was awesomeness. I know I dropped one for myself. I don't know. Alright. So there's that. And that's my haul. Not a ton. I'm trying to... I have to save up for stitches, obviously. Need spending money for stitches. So, now, back to my plans. I'm a happy planner girl. Have been for many a year. And so... what I tend to do is map out, here, I'll show you next week, because this week's a little crazy. So, at the bottom of the planner, I have a section just for my crafting, and I kind of write out what my goal is. Now, this may or may not happen, but this is what my goal is. And I would like to work on a cross-stitch project, or do some cross-stitch, some knitting, and some spinning every night. Doesn't always happen, but that's my goal. So, for this upcoming week, I want to work on, obviously, my Daisy Fairy. I'm probably going to attempt to focus on Daisy Fairy and Snow until I get Daisy Fairy finished and I get the first row of Snow finished. And then, as far as my knitting, I really want to work on Trillian. I want to get it finished, and I want to get the cake shawl finished. So I'm kind of alternating between working on my Trillian and working on my cake shawl. And then just a little bit of spinning, and I really just spin until I get frustrated, or yeah, I get frustrated. When I start getting tired, I start making stupid mistakes. So I do that. So that's kind of what I want to do. And then I'm going to attempt to pull in the shawl was outside, and apparently it came loose. There. That's better. So I want to attempt to pull in some of my more complicated knitting patterns on the weekends. It's kind of like I'm just working on Snow on the weekends. I want to pull in like Goldfish Memories. Not that that's super complicated, but it's more complicated than some of my other projects, and pull that in. So that is my goal. Yeah, I'm now surrounded by all my stuff. So, yeah. Oh, there's one other thing. I want to do a giveaway. So, get my stuff. Alright. So I'm going to do a cross-stitch giveaway. So I have 3 leaflets. We have the kitchen collection. And this has some really cute things in it. So that's kind of, it's got 21 designs, it says. And here's some more of what it's got in it. So we have that one. And then there's this Christmas caboodle. mini series, and it's got some really cute little ornaments in it. And then last but not least, it's Duck Season, which is by Gloria and Pat. And it has some ducks and some Canadian geese and a pheasant. And while I like the wildlife, I have other wildlife patterns, and I'm just not going to get to these. So I thought I would pass them on. So I have these 3 books, and all I'm going to ask that you do is you comment down below just anything, and I will pick a winner the next time I do a video, which will hopefully be next weekend. I can almost promise it'll be next weekend. So, what date is that? Because, you know, if I don't write it down, I won't remember in a minute anyway. So, we'll just say the giveaway will be open until January 20th of 2019. Alright, so there's that. So what else have I been up to? So obviously crafting and work, and trying to make sure I take more time for my crafting and make sure that I'm as organized as possible so that when I am ready to craft, I can just craft. And so I am working on that. So I struggle a little bit with the whole, I watch lots of FlossTube, and I watch lots of knitting podcasts, and everybody has always got so much work done, and I feel like I'm such a slacker when it comes to crafting. And I know intellectually that I work well over 40 hours a week, and there's limited crafting time, so I shouldn't feel guilty. Plus, I have way too many projects. But some days I feel guilty anyway. So I'm working on that mindset. And I'm also trying to be more organized about it. So I've written down plans before, so that's not my first time doing that. But I'm really trying to stick to them and find a plan that helps me get things finished. So with my cross stitch, you know, I pared down what are active whips, and going from there I'm trying to focus on finishing pieces before I moved to the next, just to try and get some things off my plate. I've been loving the Make 9 challenges, whether it be the cross stitch or the knitting, and I want to do one myself, but it'll be Make 9 crafting. I watch Anna Knitter, and I really loved how hers were more like goals, and I liked that idea, but mine will be craft goals, not knitting goals and cross stitch goals separately. Just craft goals. So that video might be coming out at some point soon, but that requires me to actually narrow down and pick 9 things that I want to do. And I do have a priority of things that I would like to do this year, so I just need to get things organized and write things down. And so, yeah, there is that. I think that's it for now. So, again, if you would like to be entered to win the giveaway, make sure you leave a comment down below. And if you have any questions or comments, just leave a comment down below. I read all my comments, and I try and respond to all of my comments. I usually do. It might take me some time, but I usually get to them all. So I hope everybody has a great crafty week, and I'll talk to you later. Bye now.